Hey guys, welcome to another BC Fishing Journal video. Glad you could be here. Appreciate you. Today I really want to try the 3-2-1 cure. The reason being because it's very easy. You can do it with pretty much stuff you can buy at the grocery store. So that's been around for a while. It was made popular by a book by Scott Hagen. It's actually this one called Egg Cures. You've probably seen it before. It's called 3-2-1. Additionally, a couple of things I'm going to add a little bit later on is like the Slamo. Love this stuff. This stuff has been like a game changer for me. Like honestly, I add this to almost every cure now just because I love it so much. But stay tuned, really curious to see how it turns out. Alright, here we go. So this is going to be the first cure we're going to do of the first version of 3-2-1 cure. So I'm going to use 1 cup of borax, and I'm going to use 2/3 of a cup of sugar and 1/3 of a cup of kosher salt. So again, that's that 3-2-1. I think you get the idea. All right, number 1 cure done. Alright, we got our 2 cures. Now, let's get the eggs ready. As you can see, I've got a bit of a working table here. I just put some newspaper down and some paper towel, and then I'm going to put the roe in there. So I'm just going to get the roe. And I also, before I touch the roe, I like to use get the latex gloves. So I've got a little something different than I typically do. Usually I cure my own eggs, but this time it's January. I've already cured the eggs, the salmon eggs that I caught in this past fall, and I don't have any eggs left. So what I did is I actually went and bought some from Rob's Baits in Richmond. And here, this is some chum roe. It's about 1.5 pounds. So it's like a $20 bag. So it's pretty pricey, and I'm curious to see how the quality is going to turn out. These are eggs from the Fraser River. And yeah, so we'll give it a try. Okay, it looks pretty decent roe. There is blood in there, as you can see. There's that blood line there. That's going to need to be flushed out, so I'm going to do that first and foremost. That's one skein. That's a big one. It smells pretty good. Right, it's decent. It's still got a really good skein on there. You can tell like the skein is really solid and tight. I like that. That's a really nice chunk, actually. That's really nice. This one's got a little bit of a bloodline, but that's okay. As you've probably seen, I've done this in the past. If you don't bleed out your fish well, you're going to get those bloodlines in there. And so, yeah, you definitely don't want to have that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to work the blood out. I can use just like a dull knife or a spoon, and it should come down. Yeah, I can see it moving already. Perfect. Again, here's just our original one that we already pre-mixed up. We know that we mix it up. And make sure to lightly sprinkle it out. Gets in there. Kind of coats it all. Put some on the back too, along the skeins. Let that go for a little bit. Here's that one. The Red Rocket. Same thing, 3-to-1. Except we got the Red Rocket Borax and not the standard plain Borax. Toss that in here, toss those in there, like that. And because I've cut the skeins a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit more coke here for our mix. Just going to add a little bit more, as you can see. Not a lot, just a dusting, because I'm going to shake them around in there. And I'll take these off now. I'll come back. It's only been 5 minutes and you can already see the juices are already starting to come. It's starting to come right out of the eggs there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in for 24 hours in my refrigerator, and I'm going to tumble them, you know, or whenever I think of it, just to go in there. I'll just tumble them a little bit, but they're going to stay in the fridge for 24 hours. And so that after that 24-hour period, that's when you can begin to add the extra scents and stuff like that. Okay, here we are 24 hours later. We have the Red Rocket right here, and then just the typical 3-2-1 cure there. And you can see there, the juices have come out. I didn't put too much, so there's not a ton of juices like seeping up. So the egg has been soaking it up pretty good, but you can see there some juices here. This is like more of a natural thing here. Doesn't look as good on that one. But now that it's been 24 hours, the key thing to do now is you can add 2 things, color and scent. So you can do that either with something I'm going to put in both of these is the ProCure Slamo. That's a really great little powder to add in there. You could also add liquid dyes. This would also be a really good time if you wanted to put some coloring, something like a Kool-Aid flavor, like cherry or something like that, just for coloring, strictly for coloring. And so you could add that now. So after the 24-hour period, we could start to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Slamo powder, and then I'm going to put these back into the fridge and just let them continue to finalize curing for the next probably 24 to 48 hours. So okay, again, this is the powder here, Slamo ProCure. So you can see, just kind of a spoonful there. So that's quite a bit. Stuff is again, just go like this. Close that out. If you're using Kool-Aid or things like that to color the eggs, again, that coloring goes a long way, so you don't need much. It's just enough to get the color that you're looking for. Really, what you're adding is just sugar, right? So it's just a coloring and sugar. So I would just say add as you see fit. Good to go. So last time I talked to you, it was a 24, kind of the initial curing process. That was 24 hours. This is 2 more days after that. So this has been a total of 72 hours for this cure. And you can see that the eggs are looking quite nice, and they've soaked up most of the juice. There's actually not any excess juice in this one, so I didn't put too much cure, as you can tell. If there is a little extra juice in the bottom, totally fine. I can re-add that to the eggs once I put them in the jars here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually not going to use these. I mean, these eggs now are ready to fish,
but I am not going to fish them right away. I'm actually going to put them right into my mason jars here, and I'm just going to show you how I do it with my food saver and with my, well, it's like a jar, kind of it's a lid sealer thing. So, okay, so we're going to do that. So here we go. Let's have a look at the natural eggs. So this was the typical 3-2-1. These don't look as good. And to be honest with you, if you remember from the beginning of the video, this was the one that the skin that didn't look the greatest. There was a little blood in it, and it wasn't great. But anyway, you can see these are a little soupy, a little soft. I probably would say these aren't great to take to the river right now because they're, it's hard to tell without actually looking at them, but they're a little soft. So what I would do with these ones is I would throw some dry borax on this for about a day before I was going to go fishing. So if I was going to fish these tomorrow, I would put them in my bag or whatever bag I'm going to take them to the river, and I would throw some borax on that, and that'll help tighten up and suck out some of that moisture. But to freeze it like that, totally fine. I'm just going to put that in there. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of basically the finished product there. Okay, let's see how so this was the borax, the colored borax that I used. So this was the Red Rocket. So I didn't have to add any coloring. The exact same recipe as that, but instead of just using plain borax like I did there, I used the ProCure Red Rocket borax. And so it just adds that color. You can feel the eggs actually the eggs feel really good on this one. Yeah, really pliable. Oh, really? Oh, I actually really like this final product. That's nice. It still is a little loose. Actually, that's really nice. I probably wouldn't even add borax to that. That's nice. That feels really good. Okay, I'm going to take these gloves off and I'm going to begin vacuum sealing. So the eggs are in there. I haven't touched the eggs ever with my hands. I've always only touched them with these gloves, which is a great thing because you don't want to be transferring any scent. Now, one thing to think about too is before you actually vacuum seal this up, we could add extra oils or scents in there too. So if you had some pure anise oil, this is actually when I would do it. I would just drop it in right now, couple drops, and then seal it away. So just something to think about if you ever wanted, or whatever the scent or oil you want to use. Those ones. Take this. I'm just going to take the rim, place it on the mason jar like so. So this is just a typical food saver. I think this is the Model 20V2040. It's a little bit older one, but this is an additional accessory I bought on Amazon. It was like 12 bucks or something, or 10 bucks, 12 bucks, and it allows you to go on there and suction that out. So let's do this. Let's go like so. Turn that, and then you're going to turn this thing in there so it's nice and tight. So this just kind of turn it, and then this is on there, sealed on there really good. And then I'm just going to pop this. It just goes right onto a normal size mason jar. And then on this particular case, I'm going to click the canister button. There is, in some of the newer models, I think they only have one button, but for this case, we're just going to do that. We're just going to push and go. I just pull this thing off. Yeah, that was all I did. This pops right off. There we go. So now you don't get that little snapping thing, so the lid's sealed. Then seal that. Good to go. But those eggs, because this cure has so much sugar in it, these eggs actually will be very difficult to burn. The amount of sugar, and salt. I'm not worried about these freezer burning. So, okay, now one down, two more to go. Pop that out. Test it to make sure it's sealed. Boom. Not sealed. That means it's sealed. One thing I'm missing here now, I have to label them. So what I'll do is I'll usually put on a piece of tape, do something like that. Get a marker, and I'll go 2, 1, And that's for original. Just a straight up 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Red rocket. Oh yeah, the date, of course. Silly. Whoops. So then I'm also going to put the date. Today is what? January 19. Into the freezer they go. You can see there's some old chum eggs I've got there that are coated in some borax. I might even actually put some of these down here. These are old. It's more like sturgeon bait now. So they're ready for the freezer. These guys will be good in here for about a year. I usually use them within a year, but they can go sometimes longer. So that's kind of the deal. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, yeah, let me know in the comments. I'd really like hearing from you. If you have a special recipe that you really like to share or you'd like me to try out, by all means, again, drop a comment. And I hope this was helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, cheers.
My furnace just turned on. I'm in the furnace room. 1 second. I'm going to turn the furnace off. It turned off by itself and I didn't even turn it off. That was weird. It's probably going to turn back on anyway. So, and that's all I got. Oh, there's the furnace again. This is, by the way, this is my furnace room. Yeah. That's my furnace room. Furnace slash fishing area.